We have begun our third week of online learning. We have a combination of students coming into school who are the students of essential workers and also students who are all at home doing their work. So it's been an interesting 3 weeks, let's put it like that.
The shift into online learning for us has been made easier. We use a variety of modes in our teaching and learning, and we've been able to apply those even further and perhaps a little quicker as we've been forced into this situation where the students are able to access their teacher, they're able to access the content, but we're able to continue that connection together to make sure that the learning experience is continuing.
Okay, so the online requires us to manage the students entirely differently. Checking on progress is entirely different. Normally in a classroom, I'd be able to walk around the room, I'd be able to look onto the students' workbooks, I'd be able to work with them one-to-one, write in their notebooks where necessary. We don't have that option with online learning. So we're requiring the students to do a lot more vocal work. So making sure that we're having individual contact with every student is really, really important to make sure that every one of them is progressing and we don't leave anybody behind.
It's been pretty, I won't say seamless, but it's been pretty good because we've been able to develop our skills in delivering content electronically using our Canvas system that we've been using. I'm pretty lucky in that some of my teaching areas, they're already digitally based, so it makes life easy for me to get the students to submit the correct way and to upload the files in the correct format so that I can mark and I can use and give the feedback back to the students pretty quickly. Some of the other subjects, so for example, the more practical based subjects, they're a little bit harder to use this new technology, but we're coming up with new ways of working that out and coming up with new tasks for the students to be able to do, to still be able to achieve as they need to, but be able to tick off the assessment for the technology side of things.
So it's been a time of growth for the school, I feel. So we've already got a really good learning management system in Canvas, which our teachers and our students are used to navigating around. However, usually there's a teacher in the room sort of talking students all the way through it. So I think one of our challenges has been really handing over really explicit instructions to students and then expecting them to kind of pick up where to go and what to do and how to access their work. And that's led to teachers having to be really careful about how they present the information on Canvas so that it's as accessible as possible to the students, and also the types of learning that go on to make it as interactive as possible, to make it engaging, fun, and also give us some sort of way of monitoring the student progress through that. So sort of regular feedback so that students can reflect on how they're learning, and also teachers can reflect on how they're teaching and whether students are getting the best out of that online remote learning.
I think what's been really successful with our online learning that we've been offering our grade 2ers is to really draw on those strategies that we know is successful in our traditional classroom. You know, offering that really fun and exciting learning that takes place, because we want our students to also feel that sense of excitement at home as they would in the classroom. So that's been one of our big factors that's drawn or led our
learning the way it has gone. Definitely. We want them to be excited to wake up and to learn and to know what the day holds, and we hope that we are following the same trend that we would have in the classroom.
We noticed in the middle of week 2 that some of the students seemed a little bit flat with their learning, and we had to really up the ante, didn't we?
Yeah, put on our thinking caps.
We did. And so then it took us to a whole new level where we got our dress-ups out and we had to really try to think of ways to stimulate these boys and girls at home. And I think we've done a really good job of doing that.
It's amazing what a couple of props can do.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think another thing that's been really important and that we've kept at the back of our minds is to keep connected with our students so that, you know, they're seeing us regularly and we're seeing them regularly. And we've been able to do that within quite a few different strategies that we've used.
I think one of the easiest day-to-day ways that we've made contact with the children is by recording some of our comments as an audio on Seesaw. So when they've submitted work, we've just recorded our voice giving our comment rather than typing everything out. And I think that just gives that personal touch that reminds them that we're still very much here and our main goal is to be there for them.
And another thing was we've also created a Seesaw activity, which is I have a question. And just like the boys and girls would in the classroom, they can put up their hand and record their voice asking the teacher a question, and it will come across on our Seesaw digital platform, and we can listen to their question and then we can record our answer back to them. And I think that has been a really useful tool for us.
Very successful, and it's also meant there hasn't been a delay in communication. We've been able to respond as quickly as possible to seeing that child had a query and hopefully overcome any problems that we've encountered. And I think, like you said, it's been very successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When IT came in and set this up, I said to them, I need to be able to record my screen and what's happening on my screen. And there was a couple of options. There was one that's actually students are probably really familiar with. It's like a gaming technology where you can record your screen. So I got that set up on here, and it's really easy. You just press your Windows G and it starts to record literally what's on your screen and your voice, which is really good. And the other one was through our Canvas, which is the Screencast-O-Matic, which is another really good piece of technology. You get a few different options with that. You can just record your screen and your voice, or you can have just webcam or webcam and your screen. So you can have like a little, picture of yourself down the bottom of the screen. And
the challenges we have faced over this time has really been to do with maintaining the connection and the relationship with our students. I became a teacher to build a rapport with my students, and so I miss them and I want to see them again. I miss the vibrant and dynamic interactions that we have in the classroom, and that's really why we are here.
Some of the challenges probably for me would be not having the students in front of me. As a teacher, we started doing teaching because we liked getting that energy from the kids and being able to bounce ideas off and seeing how the kids work with each other and helping each other out when they come across a problem and all that sort of stuff. So for me, not being able to have that and sitting in a quiet room while we're trying to record videos to give information to the students and that sort of stuff, we'll have our limited face-to-face teams.
You can tell if a student understands what they're learning from their body language, if they will make eye contact with you from their face, from the way they even lean on their desk. Not having that third dimension of observation is really tricky. So the teaching the content is not that hard. We can put that online without a big challenge, but it's that one-to-one contact with the student to know that they're progressing is what we miss, and not being able to observe them closely to see whether or not they get something.
I have a grade 8 science class and a year 11 chemistry class, so one in the middle school and one in the senior school. With the grade 8s, we have a weekly live lesson on a Wednesday morning. So I open up a Microsoft Teams meeting. The students all join that. They mute their microphones until I'm ready for all 50 of them to be speaking. And it's a great opportunity for me to run through the week's activities, for them to ask any questions that they have, me to give them little tips and tricks on how to find their way around the work that's been provided, and also for me to engage with them and find out what they've been doing in the time before, in that previous week. So I'm really enjoying meeting with them, even if it's remotely, and they do little waves and smiley faces and so on in the chat, and it's a great way for them to actually see me in person, even though I don't see all of them in person.
One of the things we also did was have a bit of a Teams chat with our tutor group one morning, and we covered a couple of things as to what they were doing, but it was cool just to see the kids talking to each other in the group chat and jumping around and chatting and as though they were sitting there in front of the classroom. So it was pretty cool. It was a little bit different, but it was cool.
I have been really, really proud of our students. They've really risen to the challenge of remote learning. They are taking control of their learning in a way that perhaps they haven't had to in the past. They're very proactive about seeking help when they need it, and it's been really good to be able to engage with students really frequently who've needed it. So I often have students who contact me and say, I'm stuck with XYZ, and then it's a really good opportunity to say, do you want to have an extra Teams meeting and I can invite some more people from the class, or an email reply, or a live video chat. So it's been a really effective way of engaging and checking in on students. When they've needed help, they've been able to get it.